Hey everybody, it's Miss A and I'm here with a homework assistance video. The homework for tonight is A, C, E, and G, the first column. And then on the back there are two word problems, 1 and 3. If the students need to use the YouTube video to get assistance with these, they do have the second column and questions 2 and 4 to use for practice. So the first one for A, and we make sure with FSA or with anything that we do, is we read the directions. It says color and compare. So we are using shading or draw it out to do this strategy. This is what the strategy is. So the denominator tells us how many pieces. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. The numerator tells us how many we should color. So I am going to color 3 of the 4 pieces. Now when I compare, I want to compare, the shape has to be the same, and you see that these shapes are both the same size circle. I want to compare, so I'm going to shade the same directions. You see how I went clockwise here and I left my piece over here that didn't need to be shaded. I'm going to do the same thing here. So here there's 6 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 5 of those need to be colored. Again, I'm working clockwise so that the shading is in the same location. Now, once I've done that, I compare the amount of shaded space. So here, I have 3/4, and you can see I have a pretty significant piece. Here you can see what is left over is a much smaller piece. This reminds me of Pac-Man. So I know that this has more shaded space, so the open part would face the bigger fraction, or the one that takes up more space. Here for C, Olivia and Hudson each have an apple. Olivia cuts hers into halves. Well, I know halves means 2, so my denominator is going to be 2, and eats 1 piece. So Olivia eats 1/2 of her apple. Hudson cuts his into quarters. Quarters means 4, because there are 4 quarters in $1. That's how I remember that. And eats 2 pieces. Who ate more of their apple? So I need a piece of paper to work on this, and I can choose any strategy to solve this one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose common denominator. So I have 2 and I have 2/4. So 1/2 and 2/4. I look at this 2 and I decide what can I multiply times 2 to make 4. And the reason I chose this strategy is because this is really simple. I know I take 1/2, and if I multiply it by 2/2, that gives me 4. So 2 times 2 is 2, and 2 times 2 is 4. So my new fraction is 2/4, and I'm comparing it to 2/4. So that tells me that the 2 of them ate an equal amount of apple. So my answer would be they ate an equal amount of the apple. And when they are taking their FSA test and they have a short answer response such as this, that is what they're looking for, a complete thought to solve the problem. Letter E says color and compare. So here, same thing here. I have my numerator, which is 2. That tells me how many pieces I'm shading. My denominator tells me 3. That's how many pieces it's cut into. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to shade clockwise, 1 and 2. Here I have 4, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, are shaded. Now when I look at these 2, I can see that there's the exact same amount of shading. There's just more pieces here, but it doesn't mean that there's more. I'm looking for the area of shadedness, so they are equal. My next problem, G. Sal and Jen ordered pizzas that were the same size. Same size, so I can draw out pizzas if I want, but the same size lets me know I can compare them. Sal ate 3/8 of his pizza. Jen ate 1/4 of her pizza. Who ate more? So what I'm going to do, what strategy I'm going to use with this is actually cross denominator multiplication. These are my 2 denominators. So since this is 8, I multiply this fraction by 4/4 by the opposite denominator. And since this is 4, I multiply this one by 8/8. So I'm going to move that down here. Once I have that, I don't need to worry about the denominator anymore. I know that 8 times 4 is equal to 4 times 8. I just need to worry about my numerator. So now I have 3 times 4, which is 12, and 1 times 8, which is 8. And then I look, what number's bigger? Well, 12 is bigger. So who ate more? Sal ate more pizza. And I'm able to figure that out by using cross multiplication. And I don't even have to waste my time figuring this out. That doesn't matter. We know it's the same because 8 times 4 is still 4 times 8. They are equivalent. So that is the front part of the homework for today. These are the 4 questions. If the students, again, need to use the video to help them solve this, they do have these over here, which they can use as well. All right, on the back, we have 2 word problems. Math for us is really working through word problems. They have many strategies that they can share, and I will actually share these on here in just a moment. Jenny had a pizza that was divided into 8 equal slices. She ate 3 of them. So 8 slices, and she ate 3. That equals 5. And since it's 8, I know that's the denominator, so 5/8 is left. Danny has a pizza the same size, but his is divided into 4 equal pieces, and he ate 3. 4 minus 3 is 1, and it's 4. That's what's left over. These are left over. He ate 3 slices of the pizza. Who ate more? So I have 3/8 is what she ate. This is what was left over. 3/8 is what Jenny ate. And Danny ate 3/4. Who ate more? So for this particular problem, I am going to use the strategy of leftover. So the denominator is 8. And I'm going to take 1 whole, which is 8/8 minus 3/8, which equals 5/8. And I've already done that here. 3/8. And that equals 5. I don't need to worry about the denominator because I know it stays the same. And then 4/4 minus 3/4, because that's how it equals 1/4. And I don't need to worry about the denominator because I know this stays the same. And now I look for the number that's smaller. The 1 is smaller, which means that Danny ate more pizza, because there's 1 piece that has before the whole pie's gone, where with Jenny, there are still 5 pieces that have to go before the pie's gone. So, and we want to know who ate more. And let's look at number 3. Jared has 2 cakes that are the same size. The first cake was chocolate, which he cut into 12 pieces. So denominator is 12 for chocolate. Let me label it. The second cake was marble, and he cut that into 6 pieces, so the denominator for that is 6. His family eats 5 slices of chocolate and 3 slices of marble. Did they eat more chocolate or marble? So I'm going to compare, and for this one, since it's 6 and 12, I'm going to do common denominators, and this will become 12 6/12 and 5/12. And I look at which numerator is bigger. Well, 6 is bigger than 5, so they ate more marble cake. All right, let me go ahead and quickly show you the strategies that the kids were taught so that you also have that information. So we have draw it out. And draw it out is when we compare. So let me do 2/5 and 1/3. We are going to compare lengths. Now, draw it out requires that the kids create 2 lines that are equal in length. So I try my best. And this is the one disadvantage to this particular strategy is you have to be really cognizant of how you're drawing. So my first one is 2/5, so I have to divide this into 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I shade 2 pieces. The next one is thirds, and I'm shading one of these, 1/3. And then I look here and I see which one has more shading. With 2/5, I am able to see that there's more shading than 1/3, so my larger fraction is 2/5. Now, we also have the strategy of number line. And this is my least favorite, but if a student's good at number line, they absolutely should use it. Now, for number line, the lines need to be the same distance. They need to be equal in length. And let me draw this one down here and run out of space. All right, so here if we are comparing 2/4 to 6/8, I would plot 2/4 on the number line. I would plot 6/8 on the number line, and we compare the distance from the beginning of the number line to see which one is bigger. Obviously, 6/8 is a greater distance from the beginning of the number line than 2/4, so 6/8 is my greater fraction. And we have common denominators or like denominators, and that's where, let's say we have 1/4 and, or let's do 3/4 and 1/2. I want to create common denominators. It's super simple. I see that 2, and I look at my smaller denominator. What times 2 equals 4? So that's times 2, and whatever I do the top, I do the bottom. My new fraction becomes 2/4 because 2 times 2 is 4, 1 times 2 is 2. And now I just compare my two fractions. And what numerator is bigger? Well, 3 is bigger, so 3/4 is greater than 1/2. And then we have cross denominator multiplication. Cross denominator multiplication. Let's say we have 3/8 and 7/10. What I do is I multiply by the opposite denominator. So this is 3/10. That would be times 10 over 10. This is 7/10. The opposite denominator is 8. That's 8 over 8. Now the good thing about this is it doesn't matter what number's on the bottom. That does not matter because 8 times 10 is the same as 10 times 8. I just need to figure out the numerators, and whatever numerator's bigger is my bigger fraction. 3 times 10 is 30. 7 times 8 is 56. 56 is greater, so my greater fraction would be 7/10. And that's how I use this strategy. I hope this video helps. Like Ryan said, slam the subscribe button or hit me up with a like or a message. I'd appreciate it. And subscribe to my friends, Austin and Yamaris. Bye.